Welcome to Cooking with Kaylee. I'm your host, Kaylee, of course. Today, I'm here to teach you how to bake a cake. That's right, you heard me right, bake a cake. Last week, we learned how to preheat the oven, and the week before that, we learned what the different utensils are in the kitchen. There's so many to count. But today, I'm going to push you off the diving board because you gotta drown before you learn how to swim. Now, I first started baking when I was 5 years old. I would go over to my grandma's house, and by the time I got there, she'd be a little tipsy, 1 or 2 bottles in, depending on the day. In her impaired state, she would teach me how to bake cakes. Now, I use the term teach very loosely. It was more of her drinking even more wine and me stumbling around and putting what sounded good to a 5-year-old's mind in the cake. Wonderful memories. I think I remember putting gummy bears and Red Hots in one of my cakes. My grandma didn't mind. She said, go ahead. You're just being creative. You're expressing yourself. But anyway, first let me show you what all we are going to need to make a beautiful, simple cake for your honey buns. And don't worry, we're not going to put any Red Hots or gummy bears in it. We are going to need a bowl, a spoon or a spatula in my case, a whisk, a box of cake mix, 2 eggs or egg whites for a healthier choice, but I got eggs because I'm very unhealthy, a 1/2 cup of oil, and a cup of water. Now there are all sorts of different pan sizes and shapes. I have a round one for today, but there are rectangular ones, square ones, and everything in between. It all depends on what you have available to you and what shape you want your cake to be. So first, we are going to combine the ingredients in our bowl. We will pour the lovely cake mix in first, so I can get it open. Okay, so when it doesn't want to open, nope. You always want to have a pair of scissors on hand so that you can open it. And it's not being my friend today. So whenever this happens, you kind of have to laugh at yourself because life doesn't go right. Oop! Hey, voila. Wonderful. Now, when you're measuring out liquids, like water and oil, for example, you want to measure it out in a measuring cup, like this. Not one, like this, or this. These are for dry substances, like flour, sugar, and stuff like that. So now make sure, when you are measuring out the liquid, that it goes right to the line, not above it, and not below it. So here's our oil, lovely oil. It's about 1/2 cup there. And you want to make sure that you don't get oil on your clothing because that's gonna be difficult to get out, if it even comes out. And then you have this nasty spot on your shirt, which is gross. But here is water. Lovely water. And it's a little bit over, but that's okay. Yay. Now, for the eggs, when you're cracking eggs, you want to try and not get any of the shell into your cake mix. I don't know the specifics, but it's bad when you do. I think people die when they eat it, something like that. Wonderful. There's 1. And there's 2. Lovely. All over my hands. Now, with all the ingredients in the bowl, it's time to mix it all together. That lovely deliciousness. Now you see, right now there's a whole bunch of lumps and bumps and lovely stuff. You want to get it to where it's relatively smooth because the lumps and the bumps is the mix, and that means it hasn't fully combined, and then your cake's not going to turn out well, and then you're going to be upset because your girlfriend or the girl that you're trying to get to be your girlfriend doesn't like the cake, and it was just a failure of a night. But anyway, that's relatively smooth. So it's time to pour it into our pan. And at this moment, you can use your spatula to help pour it in there and get all of it. or most of it. Now what I like to do is lick the bowl when I'm done, but legally, I'm not supposed to tell you to do that because you can get very sick from doing so, or so I'm told. I don't know. Anyway, once the batter is in the pan, you put it into the oven. Every cake mix has different instructions, so be sure to check the box for the exact time you bake yours. Now, the baking time is the worst part of the whole process because you smell the wonderful smells, but you can't eat it yet. That's why I like to do stuff outside while I wait on my cake to bake. If you do that, don't forget about your cake and end up burning the house down. That would be bad, or so I'm told. And now we wait. C'est bien, our cake is done. Time to enjoy this yummy deliciousness in our belly. Delicious. So I have baked a plain Jane yellow cake with chocolate frosting. This is a basic kind of cake that is good for any occasion. I encourage you to go to your local grocery store and check it out. And now that's all we have time for. Tune in next time to learn how to make lovely, delicious muffins.